Tom.
Welcome to a brand new week. It is actually Thursday morning. I'm gonna still consider it Wednesday though, because I'm still up. It's like 2 in the morning on Thursday, and I'm still awake, so it's technically Wednesday to me. Anywho, on Tuesday, woke up relatively late and streamed some more Zelda Link to the Past crowd control, which I had to change a couple things on it because the last time I did it, it was 3 hours of chicken swarms whenever I went outside.
It's a nightmare! A poultry-fueled nightmare!
So I raised the price of the chicken storms, but countered it by lowering the price of some of the other bad stuff, like remove heart container, and there are a couple other ones that are annoying that I lowered the price on as well. I also raised the price on 2 that don't make a difference. Oh, I lowered the price on takeaway rupee. So that was an interesting bid war that people had going on, where they wanted either me to have no rupees, me to have all the rupees, or for me to have a very specific number of rupees. I'll give you 2 guesses as to which number they wanted me to have. It's a 4-digit number. Comment down below with your guess, or if you were there, you already know, so comment it anyway. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. People really liked using the instant death command, which basically just kills you, when I was outside of the Skullwoods dungeon. So the Skullwoods is basically an entire dungeon of its own, but it counts as being outside. So if you die in that, you get sent back to Ganon's Pyramid as opposed to the beginning of the dungeon. So people loved trying to get that to work as I was trying to enter Skullwoods, and it oh boy, that was frustrating. But in the end, it's a win-win because they get to torture me and I get paid for it. And the devs of the extension make a bit from it as well. That's how that works. But anywho, after that, made some tea, sat down and watched another good old rousing episode of Inuyasha. I don't know why I'm still watching it. I feel like it's 2 things. One, I feel like I want to stay with it the entire time. That I want to get through the entire thing. And 2, I feel like it's also a nostalgia factor because when I was a teenager, that was one of the first adult-centric animes that I really saw. That and Detective Conan, which I think is still going on even now. Let's see, Detective Conan. What other ones were on there? Full Metal Alchemist, of course. And there was one other one that I remember. Samurai Champloo. I don't remember what else was on Adult Swim back in those days. But yeah, that was kind of a nostalgia factor there. And man alive, it's weird. It plays out very cliched, but it's the show that kind of set those cliches, at least from my point of view, at least from my general watching of these kind of shows. So I look back at it and it's wow, this is really cliche and contrived romance stuff, shoved in between all the action stuff, and it's wow, this it was the first sort of adult-centric anime that I ever saw, so I was just wow, that really is more or less the origin of it for me, for those cliches. So yeah, I'm gonna keep watching it. I'm gonna try to stick through all 54 episodes that that Netflix has on there, and hopefully it will pick up a little bit. Hopefully. Anywho, finished watching my Inuyashas, and then I went to bed, and then woke up the next morning, relatively late, because I actually stayed up a bit longer playing Skyrim. Not Grugnug's Quest, though. I ended up playing a personal file Skyrim, because I was playing that, and then I saw a Let's Play of Skyrim, and it's I really just want to play normal Skyrim, not to record it, but just to play it. I wouldn't mind streaming it, but it doesn't really make sense to have 2 different Skyrim playthroughs going out at the same time, even if one of them is just for patrons. Anywho, let's fast forward a little bit to Wednesday, or earlier today, as I like to call it for that. Woke up relatively late, so didn't have a lot of time. Ate just Subway, basically. Didn't have too much time. I streamed Tetris 99. The highest I got was rank 5. I still haven't won a match yet, but I had some pretty good games going on for a while and some really bad ones. Oh, I do want to talk about something else as well. There was a video that MatPat put out very recently that was discussing more or less the story of YouTubers that people generally don't see. And the reason I want to bring that up is because it kind of spoke to me in a way. He basically tells of the things like the apocalypse and various other things. And one thing that he mentioned was that at one point he hired a PR team. And the PR team was generally supposed to like help with, public relations and whatnot. But like a few weeks in, or a certain amount of time into it, he realized that they weren't really doing anything. So he asked them what was up, and the PR team responded with, "Nobody wants to see good news about YouTubers." I'll link the video in the description, but that didn't happen. That didn't happen to me. That happened to somebody else completely, but as a YouTuber, that hurt. That hurt to see that people want to see this platform and its creators basically crumble. And it's more or less like the older media industry that's trying to push that. And so it really didn't. It's a great video, but it just makes me see the whole ecosystem of YouTube in a new light, and I hope it gets better in that regard. But then he goes on to talk about how all the good that YouTubers do, all the good that gaming YouTubers do, things like charity, mentioning a bunch of different charity marathons that groups have done, down to what individuals have done, less subscribed YouTubers have done. Then he kind of goes on a rant about how even though YouTube, they're pulling out of an entire platform for one or two videos, that's sort of hypocritical in a sense, because every other industry has people and controversial topics that YouTuber that advertisers don't want to be associated with on YouTube, but will be associated with in other media. It's a great video. I highly recommend watching it. It impacted me, that's for sure. Anyway, for the rest of my day, I spent the rest of the day editing. Got all the Super Mario Sunshine I recorded done. Grugnug's Quest and stream highlights done. I still need to edit last week and the week before's vlogs. So hopefully I'll get around to that sometime. Maybe tomorrow, because I'm not streaming tomorrow, and that should be a good time to be able to do it. But anywho, I'm done talking about depressing stuff, and gonna hopefully come back tomorrow with some better stuff for all of you to enjoy. So anyway, I will see y'all tomorrow.
It's like when you put your toys away at the end of the day. My switch is over here.
I'll throw it against the wall.
Got a ball?
Oh, no.
Oh. Oh, no. Go ahead for it.
Shit. I tried to throw it and be like, oh, I'm clever. Oh. Moonball!
God, there's.
Oh. That went out.
Who was at the door?
If you get 5 seconds, you're going to kill Chill.
No. Oh, it's chill.
This is Chill.
Oh, okay, it's fine. I just hit shield, no big deal.
It's the CEO of Adult Swim.
It is Friday, and as you saw from that previous clip, myself, Chilled, and Gom went to Achievement Hunter to record some games with them. We recorded one video game and one board game. So that was quite a bit of fun. I wish I had cammed it a little bit better, but yeah, the throwing the Moonball is always a good time. And it's sort of like a when in Rome thing. I would never do that in my own office just because I don't have the funds to be able to replace all the equipment. But they seem to be doing fine with just chucking Moonballs willy-nilly in there. And from what I understand, it's content. So any video that comes out where a Moonball basically destroys their office can just replace all the stuff that broke. A little wasteful, but honestly, it's funny. I think it's funny. But anywho, we recorded some games. I got lost on the way back home. So that was, oh boy, that was quite a trip. Basically what happened was I had my GPS on, and then I wanted to record a segment of me stuck in traffic. So I muted the radio, but my phone was plugged into it, and that's what was giving me directions on where to go. So I tried recording a couple of segments of myself in the car, being like, oh yeah, we just recorded, now I'm on my way back, and the traffic's awful. But then after I stopped recording, I didn't turn the radio back on. So I would just kept driving, and I was like, huh, it's not really telling me exactly where to go. And I looked down at my phone, and it's like, you need to make a U-turn and go 3 miles back the other direction. So that was quite the adventure there. Got back home, did some editing, and uploaded a couple things, and then had a business call, took that, and I went to bed. Slept for much longer than I thought I would need to because I didn't get a lot of sleep the previous night due to the fact that I was up relatively late and I need to be up early. So I think I only got like 3 or 4 hours of sleep. Then I went to bed, ended up falling asleep around like 4 a.m. and then fell asleep and then woke up at 4 p.m. So really gotta work on that there. But anyway, today took the day off from streaming because I overslept and got a couple more videos edited. And I think I'm gonna, I'm probably gonna keep. I'm gonna take a little bit of time for myself because I've been playing Skyrim by myself as well. In addition to playing the VR one for Grugnug's Quest, I've been playing Skyrim Special Edition by myself, and I've been having a lot of fun with that. So I'm gonna probably spend the rest of the night playing that while I wait for some of the stuff I edited to finish rendering. It is Saturday, or for those of you who care, my birthday. Sitting here, woke up at around like noon. Then my buddy Lannon came over. Lennon.
Yo! Oh, hey!
You're not Lannon, you're Lennon.
I am.
Okay.
I am. I am not
There we go.
even remotely Australian.
Nope, not at all. And then we hung out for a little bit, talked, and then we went to go eat sushi at a place called Yanagi. That was delicious. That was they also had don bowls there. I ordered an eel don and a sushi roll, but in the clip it's not there because I already ate it. What did you order again?
I had the Temporadon, I guess,
Yeah.
which I think is a Gen 8 Pokemon coming out. if I'm not
The
mistaken.
Temporadon.
Yeah, huh?
It's the evolution of Temporamite. Anywho, right now we're playing some good old-fashioned Yu-Gi-Oh! And I say old-fashioned, but although this deck you're using doesn't
Yeah, a little
have...
bit. I don't do any extra deck stuff.
Yeah, this deck you're using doesn't have any extra deck stuff.
Also, I want to note that this is the game where I've been losing the hardest, and Tom went, I think I'm going to vlog right now. This would be perfect.
I mean, I had to pull it out at some point.
True. Yeah.
Lord. So, against this deck, it's 1-1. Against your... What was the other deck you were using? The dice deck.
rolling.
He had a deck... wait, hold on a second. He had a deck... Shut up! He had a deck that was, like, entirely based around dice rolling, and he got really lucky on all of his rolls. Yu-Gi-Oh! Update! I won! He got me down to the wire here. I had 5 cards left in my deck in the last turn.
I was so I thought my defenses were so short.
And he had many opportunities to be able to beat. He actually could have beaten me if I decided to go for bad manners, but I did not.
It's true. It's true. That's why you don't.
A
do
very
that.
powerful monster that basically his original attack is 700 times the amount of rock monsters I banished from my graveyard. And considering he milled this much, there was plenty to go in there. Now he's busting out the big guns. I can already tell he's bringing Time Lords, and I can already tell that I'm going to lose. I'll bring out the vlog for this one, just so it's fair.
It's undefeated.
Amongst our group, it's undefeated.
It's true, yeah.
I don't know. Well, you said that you played against somebody who kept like restructuring the
They
deck until
kept
they were able to.
I played them with a game and they lost heavily, and they went, hold on, let me fix this up quick.
Yeah.
And that happened about 4 or 5 times, and then I
finally
drew
beat it.
so bad that they won one
Yeah.
game.
So it has lost,
It has lost.
but only after. It's sort of like that when it's like you lose to an AI in the Yu-Gi-Oh video games, and it's like, let me fine tune this deck just enough so I can beat them,
Yeah.
and they get really unlucky. Yu-Gi-Oh newsflash! I lost. Pretty much like that's his sort of like flip the table deck. If someone's beating his other decks a little bit, if they get a little bit too comfortable with victory beating his other decks, he brings out the Time
No
Lords.
one has fun in
and then nobody has fun anymore. This rock deck I have has the potential to beat it,
I think it
but
does.
only if the stars align.
I mean, your stars have to align less than everybody else's.
That's
Because
true.
you do
Yeah.
so much returning to the hand and stuff.
Yep.
But it's the only way you're ever going to hurt me.
Yep. Yep. I haven't these are all, the only new cards I've really gotten are when we were all at Ray's house and we were just sort of like looking through each other's collections. That's all like the new cards that are in this deck. And all the other ones are just from when I collected before, which was like during the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX era. So nothing here is really going to help me that much.
We gotta find you a new archetype.
Well, I like rocks. It is Monday and the last day of this current week. So making sure the mic was up properly. Yesterday I did not do much. I woke up super late because once again I've been addicted to playing the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. Which, here's the thing, it's a great game. Like, it's been released like 50 times. I'm just playing the one on PC that I've owned since launch, basically. Oh no, I'm playing Special Edition. Okay. So not the one I've owned since launch, actually. I own it 3 times on PC. Oh! No, wait! Technically, it was the one I bought at launch because, at launch, because the Special Edition, when it initially launched with... Oh, come on, brain. It launched for free for people who had the old edition plus all the DLC. And I had all that, so I was able to get Special Edition for free, which basically what Special Edition does, it just combines all the DLC into like one package, so you have it all from the beginning. And on top of that, I think it also had some graphical improvements over the original Elder Scrolls V. Either way, I've been playing that a lot. So I woke up super late. I didn't do much. You know what? I say I didn't do much, but I did start recording the last episode of Super Mario Sunshine. And the reason I say that where it's like, okay, this is the last episode of Super Mario Sunshine, is because I went through and got all the blue coins I was missing, which there were like 80 of them. So I got all of those. I basically compiled them all into basically like a clip show of me getting them. And then I put post commentary after that of me just like talking over it and like describing what happened and like all that jazz and like what had happened like while I was getting them, things like that. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Collecting all those blue coins took me around 3.5 hours to do, so that was very difficult or that was very tedious to get done, and it's definitely one of the shortcomings of Super Mario Sunshine. Despite its great acclaim and being a really good platformer otherwise. Some shines are hard, some are super easy, but nah, you like the blue coins are like that's basically what takes that game from being a 10 to like being an 8. For me anyway, in terms of completion anyway. And honestly, the game is a little bit short otherwise. I still love it though. It's a great game. But yeah, after I finished that, stayed up even later playing Elder Scrolls, and I woke up a little bit earlier today. Not that bad. Today I streamed some more Paper Mario. We're having a lot of fun with that. At this point I'm like halfway through Shy Guy's Toy Box. Which after that I believe will be just about halfway through the game, if not exactly halfway through the game. But as the difficulty ramps up, or as you progress through the game, I know some of the chapters get a little bit longer than others, I believe, later on. Chapter 7 in particular is a really long one, so I think like maybe after chapter 4 that would be what I'll consider either halfway or just before halfway. After that, I recorded the last bit of Mario Sunshine, which is basically I had the 15-minute clip of me getting the blue coins, and then I had another 15-minute clip of me turning them in, showing off some stuff, and beating the final boss. Bowser. It's Bowser. I don't know why I bothered to constantly cover that up. It's a 15-year-old game, maybe more so. I think it's actually like 17-year-old. And I'm still trying to cover up the fact the final boss is super predictable. But I digress. So, beat that, edited together. I'm currently waiting for it to render out right now. And I'm also finally getting around to editing the vlogs I've been sort of missing out on. I don't know if my thumb is actually in the shot there. But anyway, so right now I am editing last week's vlog, I think. At this point, it'll be last week's. I already have the week before's vlog already done. For whatever reason, I just haven't put it out yet. So I'll probably end up doing that once Mario Sunshine is done rendering. I'll get that out right quick. Super quick and super fast and getting all that jazz done. So that's good. And, yeah. That's pretty much it. I'm probably going to spend the rest of the night waiting for stuff to render maybe playing a bit more Skyrim and trying to exude some form of self-control and not go until 4 in the morning like I have been for the past 5 days now. Gonna attempt it, but I'll upload everything I've got done here, and hopefully I'll get this and last week's vlog edited in a reasonable amount of time, so that way I just don't have a constant pile up of stuff. But anywho, that's going to be it for the week. Thank you all so much for joining me on this grand journey that is my life. I don't know why you're still here, but thank you nonetheless. And I will see you all next week. Later!